Okay, and now we're going to do a little test here of, I'll get over to it. We set up the base type of gate, and then we put in this stuff. Now, in the original one that I started to create, this whole area here was full of troops that would eventually kneel down in front of these overlords or something. Anyway, so I have to rebuild that. I just wanted to do a test to see if this even worked. Like, I mean, this is an actual 2-scale freaking pyramid. Let's put a couple of mean and nasties up here. This is the guy that's running this joint. And yeah, it didn't load all in, eh? Well, we'll get to it. I gotta do a longer line of sight thing. I got a lot of stuff on here. Let me just kill some stuff. Let's get out of there for a minute. Okay. This Microsoft Windows 11 is a royal pain. It keeps starting Microsoft Edge on you every time it wants to pop shit up on you. It's just terrible, guys. I mean, I don't know how Microsoft seems to think people are going to be able to do anything with this, because it's going to cost us all $7,000 for a computer that will run this shit. And no one's going to afford it. So then they're going to suddenly have a lot less of us, you know, upgrading, and it's just going to be a shit show. Anyway, not my problem. You know. Anyway, I did manage to crash the engine once today, though. That was just interesting. And it's when I go into 427, and there's a certain asset that was a prop that I bought from this guy for like $5, and it was using that Necron thing. And every time I put it into a scene of anything, when you save it and go out, it crashes that engine. It's really weird. Really weird. And then the next time you start the engine, it tries to start 2 of them and crashes one. I don't get that. Stuff still works, it's just weird. Now, one of the things that gets me about at least this design is, I know for a fact, and I think most Egyptologists would say, that ancient Egypt would have been a hell of a lot more colorful, right? You know, this would be a thing where you have to get somebody in here to really color it out. And one of the things I wanted to do in here is kind of like when Daniel Jackson went into Abydos, and there was that one room that had all the cartouches on there. Is replace some of this, keep that there maybe, and then on this wall, put a whole bunch of new ones there, and a different network that, kind of like how Ball had his own little network, is running for a certain Ghoul Lord who wouldn't be, say, someone that you would regularly see, and you could use some ancient Egyptian god names that were really early in the pantheon, or were, you know, obscure names and stuff like that, to really kind of have some fun with it. You know, there's a lot of stuff to do in here. You know, this has a cinematic tied into it that I've done the cinematic on the YouTube channel, and it's got a little bit of sound or something, or music inside here too, eh? But there's a lot to this giant level. So, you know, I just wanted to wander over here, because I think, if I'm not mistaken, I don't know if this is the edge of the city. Goes out into the desert. The desert of nowhere. There's a river. There's a river. I think there was a boat over this way. Now the water's not going to be normal either, so I could change that and put a little shader thing in there, but that adds to, you know, stuff, but there it is, so it's over that way. More buildings over there. Here, see the boat. Where is it? Where'd you go? There you are. Ancient Egyptian sailing boat. It's something they went around in the Mediterranean a little bit with. Back to the middle there. I want to try something. I don't know if I've set up that gate in there to go back to the main base. We'll see in a minute here. I gotta find my way back to the middle. there's no map for you to go find things, right? This way, I think. Yeah. I'll go up over this thing and get a view of things. Where am I going, man? Into a wall? That won't work. Nope. This way. Around the corner here. This looks kind of familiar. There it is. Let's see if it works. Lighting needs to be rebuilt in the silver level. Hey, it worked. So this is how you kind of can go around, and then, you know, I have it set up that on this gate you go back to that alien place. But this is just an example of how you can level load, and it's kind of interesting. I only have 16 gigabytes of RAM and a 3070, so, you know, as more people get 3060s and stuff like that, it'll be a little bit less than me, right? You're a couple gradients down. This is, you know, oh yeah, lots to do in here. And I was building that, and I wanted to build something to go way over. I was going to take out that far wall, put a whole bunch of Western military things, kind of like a war museum, but it would be like today's modern aircraft and tanks, and even put an aircraft carrier out there. But then all this is like real size, right? So, and have it like enclosed in like glass, and have it sitting there, and, you know, have ship or planes on it or some crap. Like the old days. I don't know. There's lots to do the ideas for stuff like this. There's a SpaceX rocket. One of them. I got another one on the marketplace. It's the one that will potentially go to Mars if he ever gets his act together and does it. Anyway, okay. Little updates as I slowly get things going. I may end up doing most of this in 425, and like I said, if there are assets for 427, then I just will import this in, but not have the gate working and do the gate thing. So I would import this up there, like this map, bring all these assets in, put them where they're supposed to be, right? And then take out that wall, put those other planes in because they're for 427, not 425. So this is what you run into with this kind of mucking around, is you got to find the good devs, you know, spread out what they do because they want the most sales. Ones that they think are just gonna get all the money just make stuff for Unreal 5 and nobody's using it. I mean, I fired it up, all right, and you know, I made it, created some project they had there, and as soon as I fired it up, all the menus are black and it starts flashing, and then it goes for a minute and then it goes DirectX 12 error. Oh, okay, whatever. Okay, next. You know, and it's the same BS with all this crap, right? So, and it's got to do also probably with some kind of settings in there that isn't done right. They should, when you start the engine for Unreal 5, this is a little tip for anybody making software. You should have the settings at the lowest possible so that everybody who starts it up, no matter what they have, can just go. Don't put any of the extra features on and everything else. Have people, you know, do videos and tutorials, teach you how to add those on, because then you'll learn about what's going on. When they change the menus around and where everything is, and you're like, what the hell is this? What am I doing here? What is this? What is that? I mean, you know, and people start to do tutorials for this that know they're going to charge you money, and then it's like, well, suddenly everything's not free again, and then, you know, you just stop, forget it. I'll stick where I can have some fun, you know. Right, man, right. I am the devil man. Ooh, wolf man. This guy is pretty cool. It does look pretty rad, doesn't it? That's a pretty crazy looking outfit. I like these for robot things. Look at the hands on that, eh? Imagine the gun you could carry with that. Right? Desert Special Forces of the future. Just to give you an idea how big this stupid SpaceX rocket really is. Well, hello guys. Now, next, and the reason to do the lighting, watch what happens when I go over this yellow stuff. See how the yellow's all over me? It's because there's this crap called dynamic lighting, and you gotta fix it. Yeah. Yay, more crap. More crap. Dun, 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 dun. The good news is that this PC is literally, and I mean literally, you could take a stopwatch versus that i5 6-core 16 gigabyte 1660 Super with 6 gigabytes versus this i7 12700 with what was it? I think it's close to 20 threads or some crap, right? 18, you know, that it can do, okay, with its cores and everything else. It's literally 10 times faster. Okay, and then when you consider that, you know, in 2019, you know, stuff like this would just be on this quality on the old GT 621 gigabyte. You know, we've the scale that they're pushing all this tech is for Hollywood. It's not for us. We're like the in between the big movies and everything else. We're the ones keeping the lights on. That's all. All the money and profits goes when Sony comes by and drops $5 billion from all the games and stuff they use for Unreal Engine 5. Yeah, it's just like, what? Anyway. Okay, guys, I'll let you go.